Welcome to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about the car market, Stellantis. There's some good deals going on with Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram. So I'm going to be going over this for some of you that are in the car market right now that need a car. And I get it. Some of you are not in the car market and I'm just going to say everything's overpriced. But if you are in the car market and you're looking for something new, you might be able to find some really good deals when it comes to Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler. So if you do like Jeeps, you like Rams, you like this this company's product, there's some deals out there right now going on. So we're going to be talking about that. But if you're curious about Toro, that is, if you see my other videos, I mainly talk about it's a car sharing platform. Go ahead and check out the description box. Everything that I use for Toro is in that description box, my lockbox, no smoking stickers, etc. is all there. And if you want to get a car for Toro, a, a Ram, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler could be a good deal right now for that. Now, sorry, my nose is a little stuffed up. I got some bad allergies right now. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. If you're wondering what's that in the background, that's just the house here in the family room. I'm having a firehouse. I mean, not firehouse, sorry, fireplace built, and it's halfway built, so it's kind of messy back there, but got some home projects going on right now at the moment, so sorry about that. But let's get into it. So Stellantis is not being too profitable. I've heard news about the CEO stepping down, all sorts of news. So I went ahead in December and I went to a Dodge Jeep Chrysler dealership near where I live, and I was surprised to see that there were not many cars. A lot of cars were sold. You can actually see that video. I talked about the new 2025 RHO, the replacement of the TRX. So if you're interested in seeing that, check that out. But yeah, I saw a lot of spaces on the lot, and right now that's not too normal because cars haven't been selling great with high interest rates, and even though there's been some rate cuts, there's still the rates are still pretty high on if you're buying pre-owned. Now there are great incentives on some new cars. So if you have excellent credit and you qualify for them, you can still pick up a good interest rate on some cars brand new, even though there's high interest rates going on still at the moment, unfortunately. But with that said, just keep in mind if you are thinking about buying a car and you're thinking about buying used, but you're looking for something fairly new, don't always assume that used is going to be cheaper. It depends on the situation. I used to work in the car business. I have a lot of friends, family that buying cars, and I seen people buy a car that's only a year old with, let's say, 10,000 miles, and they think they got it for less than new. And to their surprise, they could have bought a new one for the same price because new cars tend to have lower interest rates than used cars. If you don't believe me, ask at the dealership. And sometimes the manufacturer has really good incentives on the car. So when you go to the dealership, you'll go up to the window, you'll see a big sticker. They call it the Maruni sticker. You'll see that sticker and you don't see any incentives. You'll just see a high price. It scares you, it freaks you out, and you should just assume that the used car is going to be cheaper, which the car dealership usually makes more money on the used cars than they do on the new cars. So they'll be happy to sell you the used one. But in a case like that, it doesn't always mean you're going to save money. So it just depends on the car, of course, the scenario. But just remember, if you're looking at fairly new, sh do the numbers on a new one and then do the numbers on a used one to really make sure you're saving. Because sometimes with the incentives that these manufacturers are doing at the time, sometimes you end up with a better deal on the new car. So you don't want to find out later that you bought a used car and you could have bought a new one, right? Because usually we'll buy a used one to save money. And sometimes that's the case, but the best way to know that you were able to save money is by comparing. Now, if you're looking for something that's a lot older, 5 years or more, or even four, then most likely, yeah, you're going to save money, right? But if you're looking at something like you're like, hey, I just want something that's a year old, very low miles, still under factory warranty, compare it with new. You have nothing to lose. Now I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna go on a Dodge Chrysler Jeep website, and I'm gonna show you some of these insane incentives that are going on. They're talking about $20,000 off Rams, the Jeep Grand Cherokee that's pretty popular, the redesign. Um, if you get the entry level one, the Laredo, you're talking about getting in the low 30s. You can go to a Toyota dealership. That's what a Toyota RAV4 would cost you. So a Jeep Grand Cherokee in the low 30s, brand new, you're talking about these cars, window sticker are over $40,000. And that's what I mean. See, if you went to the dealership, you wouldn't know about these incentives. I mean, if you went to the dealership and you just looked at the window sticker, you wouldn't know about these incentives. So, how are some of the ways that you can find out about incentives on a car that you're looking for? Now, I'm talking about Stellantis, the Dodge Jeep Chrysler, but this can go for any car. You may be looking for a Ford, you may be looking at a Chevy, you may be looking at a Beamer, you may be looking at Mercedes. Whatever it is, go on the website and click on specials. Usually, all dealership websites will have specials. They'll show you the incentives. Also, you can just go, for example, let's say you're looking at luxury and it's Mercedes. Go on www.mercedes-benz.com, for example, or Google it. Go directly on their website and you can see the specials they currently have going on. It's good to educate yourself on the deals, incentives that manufacturers have than just depending on the salesperson, because he or she are there to, represent the dealership, to get, to do what's best for the dealer. That's what they're trained to do. They're not necessarily there to do what's best for you, even though they're trained, to come off as friendly and try to, they're going to try to build rapport with you and come off like they're your friends. They're not. It's business. This is their job. They're trained to come off as your friends, but they're trained also to do what makes the most money for the dealership. And that's how they get paid and how they keep their job. So you got to protect yourself. Remember, they're not really your friends. A good salesperson will make you think that they're looking out for you, that they're your friends, but most of the time that's not the case. Usually they're just following the procedures that the dealerships train them. And hey, it's a business, right? They got to make money. So I understand it, but I say this, so you go and do some of your homework, right? And this is how you do it, right? You go on the website, you go on different bank websites, see what rates are at, learn your credit, download Credit Karma, figure out where your credit score is at. That way you can see where you fall, right? This is important that people do. So many people go to a car dealership and just depend the dealership to do everything for them. And if you do that, you're probably going to pay way too much. You need to educate yourself where your credit is, how your credit is. If you just let's say you're really young and you just started, you just got your first credit card, your history is not going to be long and you're probably not going to be ready to get financing on a car. But if you already have owned a car in your name, you got some credit history and things like that, find out your score, see where you're at. That way you can kind of get an idea where rates are based on your credit, and you just don't depend on what the dealership says, because the dealership can make money when if you finance, right? Now I'm not talking about cash buyers, but if you're financing, they can give you a higher interest than the bank may give you because they make money on that. So it's just things that I want to throw out there because I know some of you are actually shopping and thinking about getting a car. But let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen finally. And here we go. I'm on the website. Boom, it popped up. Now, luckily for us on this website, all the specials are right up. You can see it. They're saying 0% APR for 72 months. They're showing lease specials. They're showing $20,000 off trucks. Now, always read the small prints, because there's going to be the little small details that may not be so attractive, and that's why they put in such small letters. So you want to definitely read that, and don't just go there without reading that small print. So a tip, always, if there's a special, there's a deal, check out those small prints. But the reason I chose to talk about Ram, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, because they're not doing so hot right now. So they're definitely trying to do everything they can to sell some cars, and they're doing that by providing larger incentives than typical, large discounts on trucks, better lease specials. Probably got some. It looks like 0% for 72 months, which is 6 years. Now you want to look into that, because sometimes when they do the 0% APR, then they don't give you the full incentives and things like that. So sometimes there's a little bit of some tricks in there. So you definitely want to do your research on that. But basically, I'm just showing you what the website shows, letting you know there's some possible deals here. Now, what I'm going to do, I was talking about the Jeep. So let's go here, new, and I'm going to look for Grand, that's the L, Grand Cherokee. So they got 24 in stock. Sorry, computer's going a little slow. Awesome. So here we go. They popped up. So the Laredo's pretty much like the entry level when it comes to Jeep. But let's say you're just looking for something for your family, for yourself, and you don't want it to be super expensive. And I get it. Some of you are gonna say, look, they're over 30,000, it's really high. But the reason I'm pointing out this car a few months ago or a year ago, you wouldn't be able to get a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee at these prices. So this for some people that can, afford the 30,000 not too long ago, you wouldn't be able to get this Jeep at that price. So the incentives have gotten better, and the purchase price have gone down, which is nice. But you would see if you were at the dealership the $40,000 MSRP. But look, so now let's read the breakdown, right? Because I'm telling you about today's price, the $33,000. I'm saying that's a pretty good price, at least in my opinion. I'm sure I'll get some comments saying that's outrageous, and that's okay. Please leave your comments down below. I do appreciate it. If you end up enjoying the video at the end, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. But let's get back to it. So it's very important that we read what they have here. So they're saying that the window sticker $40,175. They're saying New Year savings, they're discounting at $3,000, which leaves us at $37,175. Now, the reason I was saying the $33,000 because our eyes, or at least in my opinion, go right to that. And sometimes we don't really look at all the details. But there's a catch. And some of you probably already saw it. There's a trade-in bonus cash, meaning for us to get it at $33,000, you have to have a trade. And what can happen with a trade, if your trade's paid off, you won't have an issue. But some of you have a car that you have a loan on and you want to get rid of to get maybe a Jeep or something else. It doesn't matter what it is, but I'm just going to use the Jeep for example. And you're upside down. So if they give you a $3,500 discount on the vehicle credit, whatever they call it, if you're upside down, right, then you're either going to have to come out of pocket to pay off that negative equity because because what the dealership could say is, oh, well, we're going to give you $3,500. We'll just roll over your negative equity onto your new car, which I don't recommend doing, but then this price will change. So basically, to get this price, you have to trade in something. Now, if you do owe money on your car, but let's say it's $20,000 and they're willing to give you $20,000, then it's a wash and you would still get this incentive, it looks like. So you get this price. So this basically, it depends how you're sitting with your trade, how this could come out. And it benefit if you are trading in a vehicle. If you're not aware of this, you do get a tax savings because they'll only tax you the difference versus if I was buying this car and I was not doing a trade in, the taxes would be on $37,000. Now, if I'm doing a trade in and let's say they're giving me 20,000, they would only tax me on $13,000 and there will be some tax savings there. Also, if you already have a tag, you can do a tag transfer and it won't be a new tag. So usually a new tag, at least here in Florida, from what I know, it's around $400. A tag transfer is about half. So you save some money. So you'd be looking at tax savings, and then saving some money on the tag. And now some of you may say, well, it doesn't seem like much. It adds up, and the tax savings could really add up depending on how much it is. But just some tips: if you're trading a car, ask about your tax savings. If you already have a tag, let them know, hey, I don't need a tag, I should be able to transfer my tag. And most of the time that is true. Now it may vary for some of you, but it's just some things to keep in mind when you're out there car shopping. But I did want to talk about Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, because they're doing some great incentives. So if you're not sure what car to get, check them out. I'm not getting paid or anything by this company. I'm just letting you know some great promotions. Now the car market has definitely the prices have been crazy, interest rates haven't been great. So car companies are having a hard time selling cars, and that's why you see incentives getting better. Now, some of you, if you don't need to get a car and you can hold off, I think, and now this is my opinion, I could be wrong. I think things are going to get better. I think the incentives and rates are going to get probably a little bit more attractive, probably more towards the middle end of the year. Now, I could be wrong, but I think things will get better. But some of you that got to get the car right now, maybe your car was in an accident, it's a total loss, or you don't have a car and it's going to be your first car, whatever it may be, or your car's older, is breaking down, you don't want to put any more money into it, or you just want to own your first new car, whatever it may be. you might want to check them out if you don't have one in mind, or compare it to what you're looking at and see. But definitely make sure whatever car you're looking at, you're asking for discounts, you're checking on the incentives, find out what your credit's at if you're financing to see where you should be when it comes to interest rates. Don't just depend on the dealer. And if you have any questions, please leave comments down below. Let me know if you do got a question, what you prefer. What I've done in a couple videos is someone would ask me a question and I just made a video. I feel like answering a question through a video could be better. Now, some of you may love that and think it's awesome. Some of you may say, nah, I don't want any of that. Just type it up. Let me know what you prefer. It lets me know. If you want me to make a video, I may do it. It doesn't bother me. It gives me ideas also to make videos, and other people can find it helpful, because if you have a question, there could be definitely others that may have that same question. So definitely let me know. And let me see. I was trying to stop sharing my screen here, but yeah, I couldn't find the button, but I really do appreciate everyone watching. Don't forget to smash the like button. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Check out the description box if you're interested in finding out what I use on Toro, and I'll see you all on the next one.